Hi everyone, and welcome to the last edition for 2021 of Office Hours Live. So with me as always, I've got the team here. So welcome to David and Rakesh. Hi guys.
Hiya.
Now, for those of you that may be new to us here at Zenler, or indeed to the Facebook group where we're streaming this, as we are adding people in every single week, this is Office Hours Live. This is where we go through a number of different elements of Zenler that you may not be aware exist. We have a feature focus section which will focus on one particular element of the Zenler platform that may be hidden away. You may not be totally obvious as to what it does, and today's is a good one. We go through the changelog as well, so that will tell you about the latest, the greatest, the updates, technical or feature related, that we've been doing over the last week or so. And of course, we'll answer your questions live. So if you are watching us live, remember it's hashtag live. Let us know where you're watching from. We've got a global audience, which is why we do office hours. We alternate office hours. So today we're at 10 a.m. GMT. Next week, we will be at 5 p.m. GMT. So we do that because we cover such a vast amount of countries around the world as Zenler users. So it's good if you are here live. If you are on the replay, hashtag replay, same premise, put your country in or where you're watching from, and then we can just look at where everybody is tuning in from. So as always, we start the show off with looking at the changelog, and Rakesh leads us on showing us what's been happening over the last week or so on the Zenler platform. So Rakesh, over to you for this week's changelog, please.
Hey, thanks, Kevin. Hey, everyone, and hope you all had a great Christmas. Hope you had a nice time with the families. I know people are still on holidays, so yeah. Normally, I use this time to talk about the changelog, but we had several minor updates that has gone in, but there's no major updates that I can talk about right now. But there are some major big changes coming in very soon, including live pricing, the ability to sell live webinars and live sessions. That is coming up pretty soon, followed by a live class lesson type. So you should, once we get that in, you should be able to stream your live classes into your courses without needing registration and so on. I just wanted to talk a bit about some of the issues that we had last week on the 22nd related to Amazon AWS. Now, Zenler, the entire infrastructure is hosted on Amazon AWS. So we are dependent on AWS, just like half of the internet. So on 22nd, AWS, in one of those regions in AWS, there was power outage apparently for several hours, and it affected several of Zenler sites. And our tech team was constantly monitoring it, and the AWS issue affected a lot of sites, including Slack. So some of the big names are also down. So the Zenler platform is entirely hosted on the Amazon AWS infrastructure, and it definitely had an impact on some of the sites. And it's nothing to do directly with the Zenler platform, but because Zenler is hosted on AWS infrastructure, there was an impact. So our tech team were constantly monitoring the situation, and I don't know whether everyone knows about it. On status.newzealand.com, David, if you want to paste the link onto the chat below, on status.newzealand.com, you can subscribe to all the updates on the infrastructure, on anything that is happening on the Zenler platform, and it also pulls status from all the services that we depend on, including AWS and all of that. So in future, if you have any issues with Zenler platform, make sure to check out status.newzealand.com, where you can see what is happening if there is an issue with the Zenler platform or its related services or its dependent services. You can monitor all of that. You can subscribe. You can get email updates. So once you subscribe with the email address, you'll get updates regarding whatever any status updates on the infrastructure side for the Zenler platform. I think that's it from the changelog side. I think some very, very huge, massive changes are coming up. So stay tuned. Back to you, Kevin.
Fantastic. Thanks, Rakesh. So just to put your mind at rest, here at New Zenler, we've sent off a couple of letters to Amazon with 10 pences in so they can feed their meter. So hopefully it won't happen again. But on a serious note, the team did well. It's exactly as Rakesh says, we monitor it. Unfortunately, sometimes it's out of our control. But that's the way tech goes. So let's move on. I'm going to move on to, I'm just going to show you around very, very quickly. Here at New Zenler, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is the support that we give you. Now, that's not only support within the Facebook group, which our community does amazingly well, but we also offer learning resources for you to be able to use the platform to the most effective use for what you want for your business. Now, we do this in 3 different ways. So the first way is we are in the Facebook group. That's where you're watching this live right now. And in here, we have a couple of areas that are really useful for you to look at. So the first one is the featured area. This is where any of the posts that go up that we deem to be important get marked as featured. So you don't need to scroll through all of the lots of updates gone on during the day. If you just want to see the latest important information that's going on, then have a look on the featured one. You'll see Alice's competition there. You'll see stuff, the holiday giveaway. There's all sorts of bits and pieces in there. So when David does a day with Zenler, that's there. Office hours is there. Now, I do keep it up to date. It's only got 2021 stuff in there right now. It's going to be stripped back in the new year to only have the last 6 months worth of updates in there. So you don't have to scroll through tons of stuff, but you can have a look back and see what's been going on. The next one is click on more, click on events, and that will show you the upcoming live events that we're running. Now, these are not all on Facebook. So obviously Office Hours is live on Facebook. We've got the Launch First Course Bootcamp, which is going to be run on an New Zenler site. So the tutorial site is where it's run, and it's run as live classes, and then it goes into a course. But if you want to just click that you're going to that, that will mean that you don't forget that that event is going live. Facebook is very good at reminding you that that's coming up, and it's very easy for us to forget what's happening. Our next resource is the tutorial site, so tutorials.newzenler.com. When we head over there, you will see on the home page, we've simplified everything. We've got an amazing menu along the top. Have a browse through there. We've copied a load of the links in there for things like the Changelog, the status site, all of those things. There's some feedback forms there if you want to get involved in actually helping us develop what's going on at New Zenler. And as you scroll down, you'll see the training areas that we've created for you. The most important one, I suppose, is Learn Zenler. That's where you'll find the Quick Start Guide. So if you're new, always go through the Quick Start Guide first. It takes between 2 and 4 hours. But it sets up all of those things that you only really need to do once. How do I set up my payment processor? How do I set my colors? How do I put my logo in? All of those types of things. Once you've done it for this one site, then you're done. And then you can move on to building whatever it is you need to build by going into the actual big course that we've got there. The next thing is heading over to YouTube. So on youtube.com/c/Zenler. Now, over here, we've got videos. The very first row that you'll see, so the first playlist is the new feature releases. This is when we do an update. It might not only be a feature, but it might be an additional update to an already released feature. David will always do a quick video just showing you what that means, how you use it, and that always goes in there. So it's a really easy way to find it. As you scroll through the YouTube channel, you'll see loads of other stuff that just doesn't go on the tutorial site. If we put it into Facebook, it gets lost. On the tutorial site, it's not always learning stuff. So the day with Zenler, it's a great day, but it's not as in process-driven education like on the tutorial site. So it goes on our YouTube channel. We've got replays of office hours. There's loads of stuff. So what you need to do is hit the subscribe button, hit the notify bell. That will mean every time we upload one there, and there is stuff going in every week, you get a notification to say, actually, there's a new video to watch, and then you can just click the link and go straight over it and watch it. So there are 3 main areas. If you're not yet looking at those, then please make sure at the very least you go to the tutorial site, because that is where most of your questions will be answered. And I see even now in the group, lots of people saying, how do I do this? How can I do that? And by going in there, we've added a search functionality into the main course, and that will help you find what you're looking for to achieve what you need to achieve. And of course, all of those resources are free of charge. We don't charge for any of that. We don't charge for any of the boot camps. We don't charge for a day with Zenler. All of that is we give to you because our commitment is to get you working your Zenler site so it's the best it can be for your business. So do look out for those. That's the education elements to what we have online right now. I'm going to move on to the next section now. So the next section is one of my favorites. Let me just see if anyone's on the chat. I think I saw Pauline pop ahead in. Hi, good morning, Pauline. Good to see you here live with us. Berg is here. So Merry Wednesday, live from Sweden. Good to see you here as well. A couple of our regulars. That's brilliant. The next section is one of my favorites, feature focus. This is where David runs through something that may not be obvious, something where lots of people are asking questions on how to do something, or something that you can put in as an extra onto your site that just may give it a little bit of something, a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit of something different. So David runs feature focus. So over to you for this week's feature focus slot, David, please.
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, welcome to the feature focus. So I hope you guys all had a Merry Christmas. Right. So what I want to talk about today is something that I've noticed that a lot of people are forgetting to do. And understandably, if you're not a website designer and you see a list of pages come up when you first go into your site, and even people that have built their entire sites are still making this mistake, you need to make sure that you go through all of the pages. So all the pages that were set up for you, you might be concentrating all of your attention on things like my course page, register, login, maybe the terms and conditions and privacy policies. And you'll probably spend most of your time designing your homepage to make it look marvelous. However, you've got to realize that there are other pages that are shown, such as when you send emails out, you have an unsubscribe link. And this is the biggest problem I've seen. I've seen it with a lot of sites, a lot of really good looking sites. People are forgetting to do this one thing, and that is to go into their unsubscribe mail and subscribe mail and swap out the Zenler logo, which we put in here. You're going to see that there's a Zenler logo in there. I think it's on this one here. There. You need to swap this out for your logo or design this page the way you want it to. Do not touch this dynamic block that's in here. You can change the text in here, but leave this. But design the page up and put your logo in there. You can see this is our default one. And sorry, on the subscribe mail, I've swapped it for this site's logo. So obviously it looks a lot better. It's got my logo in there and it doesn't show Zenler. So there's two reasons. One is your branding. And the other reason is when people do, if they do subscribe or they unsubscribe, they'll go onto this site and they'll see Zenler, and they won't know, if you turn the powered by Zenler off, they won't know that it's a Zenler powered site, and it could confuse them and they might think it's spam or a different site. So it's really important, guys, that you actually go through all of your pages, the unsubscribe mail, the subscribe, and all of the other pages. Pages, have a look at the cookie policy. Make sure you read that cookie policy and it matches what you want. If you want to swap out where it says Zenler to your site, then do that. And also the terms of use and the privacy policy. So I think this is a really important one going into the new year, just to finish off and make sure your site is completed. Because although you might have the site completed, you might have forgotten those pages. I've seen this quite a few times with a lot of finished sites. On that note, also go into your system mails and make it your own. So remember, system emails come out from the system if someone registers, or if you haven't got automations enabled, then for a course an email will go out. We've done it as a generic format, but it still requires you to go in and just make them your own. So to get to any of the system emails, you go into language and then go down to where it says system email. And inside here, you're going to see lots of emails. These are different templates we've set up, which are generic, but you can make them your own. So for instance, the welcome email one, it comes up here. So you can see I've put my logo in there. So things like this, I've changed a little bit of the wording in here. So you can see how I've changed this and made it my own. If I didn't, it wouldn't have this logo in here. And it just makes it, it just brings the whole thing together. It's like putting icing on a cake. You've done all the hard work, you've baked it, come out the oven. You just need to make it look finished. So you just need to ice it and finish it off. So this is 2 points that are really important. Go through all of the system emails, make sure you go through all the pages and you swap out any of our default placeholders for your logos and those sort of things. And then you'll be set for 2022. Back to you, Kevin.
Yeah, good one on that one, David. And it's a good reminder as well, because we all are in such a rush to get our sites out and our courses launched. And sometimes we forget some of the basics, and the terms and the privacy policy are actually really important. I would always suggest that if you don't have a set of terms written for your business, and online is different to offline. If you have an offline side to your business, then you need to go and get some, get them from a credible source. Don't just copy someone else's. Please don't do that. I know people that have done that in the past. It's not the right way to do things, and they won't be relevant for your particular business. So do go and get a set made up. You can get them at a very reasonable price, and it protects you. And that's the whole purpose of having a set of terms of business. It protects you, your business, and your business interests. So all of those, what David's mentioned, make sure you go off, have a look. Okay, let's move on. So thanks for that, David. Good section as always. I like that section because it always highlights something on an ever-evolving site that we should be looking at. And it's so easy to become complacent, but these sites are never finished. We know that. They're always a work in progress. So let's move on to the next section. While I'm doing this, if you have any questions that you want to ask the team, please do type them in the chat. In Facebook, we will answer them before we go. But I'm going to move on to the next. It's not really a section. It's just moving on to something that we need to bring to your attention. So last week, Alice was on with us. She's not with us this morning because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning or something ridiculous for her. So she's not here. She's still sleeping. And I don't blame her. But what Alice did last week was she launched our holiday competition. So this is running until I keep getting this wrong, the 5th of January. So we're going to do the draw on the 5th, live on office hours next week. Now, if you've seen the competition we did earlier this year, you'll know exactly how that works. So we've put everyone's name that enters into a wheel. It's completely random. It's completely out of our control. There is no, oh, let's pick our favorite person or easiest person. It is absolutely random and it's live. But to enter the competition, you need to do one very specific thing. Now, there is a post in the Facebook group. We'll put a comment on it just to bring it back up to the top, but it's also in the featured section as well. And what you need to do is you need to share any link from your new Zenler site. Now, you can only enter once, so only one link per person, and it can be any page. So it could be a blog post, it could be a sales page, it could be a home page, it could be a lead magnet page, it could be whatever you want it to be. What this does is it gives you the ability to show what you're doing to everybody else, and it gets you entered into our competition. Now, I hear you all cry, what are the prizes? Because a competition, of course, has prizes. It would be a bit rubbish if it didn't. So our prizes for this competition are as follows. So the grand prize, the #1 winner, will get a live build with our very own David. So there are, I believe in the post, it does just tell you a little bit about what's involved in that. When you win that, David will reach out to you privately and arrange and organise that with you. So don't panic. You don't have to think, oh, how do I claim it or anything like that. Now, there is only one of those available. Okay. For the next few winners, I think we've got 3 after that. So there's 4 prizes to be won. You're going to get a bag of swag off of the new Zenler team. So what's going to be in that, I'm not going to tell you, but you will have to take pictures of yourself holding it up and put it into the Facebook group. Now, again, one of the team will reach out to you to make sure that we've got the correct postal address for you, so we can send that out. So you don't know, all you have to do is enter, turn up to office hours next week and see if your name is pulled out by the randomizer. At the moment, we've got 150 odd entries. So lots of you have decided this is a good idea. And as you can see, there's lots of awesome looking sites in there. It might well be worth even if you've entered the once, just go scroll through that and see what everybody else is up to, because they're all new Zenler sites. The only way you'll get entered into this is by putting a site in from a new Zenler built site. If you try and fool us and put one out from a WordPress site, we will know and your entry will be removed. And if you try and enter more than once, again, we'll know and we'll remove that particular entry. So one entry, one link, or it has to be from a new Zenler built website. It's that simple. So look out for that. We'll boost that post. We'll just put a comment on there just so you can all find it a little bit easier. But look in the featured section. I think it's the second or third one down at the moment. But you've got until next, let's say 5 p.m. on Tuesday to get your entries in, because we've got to get the team, we've got to put the names in. So if you can do it by 5 p.m, that would be absolutely awesome. And then we get a chance to do that. Right, how many of you put questions in? Francis put a question in. I'll come back to you, Francis, in a minute. One last element from me for today is talking about support, and what Rakesh mentioned earlier in the changelog section was, how do you get technical support for your new Zenler site? Now, obviously, being a software platform, we know sometimes stuff goes wrong, which is why we have a dedicated technical support team. Now, we've really simplified this for everybody and made it a one channel to support. So that means there is only one way you can get official technical support from New Zenler. Now, that isn't in the Facebook group, shouting out and tagging us all and going, help me, help me, help me, because we may probably just come in and say, please contact support, because we don't know really what the problem is. So if you're facing an issue on your new Zenler site, something's not working as it should, and you need help with it, then what we need you to do is do the following. Firstly, take a video recording of what the issue is. So you can use Loom for this. It's free. There are loads of others out there. What this does is it shows the technical team exactly what you're seeing and what issue you have. So therefore, they don't have to try and recreate the problem. So if we just type in what the problem is, they're going to have to go through. They may even have to go in your site and try and work it out before they even get to solve the problem, which takes time. So to speed up support for everybody, we ask that you put a video in of what it's got. If you can talk over the video and say, this is what's happening, that's even better. Then email that in to support@zenler.com. When that goes in, you will get an email back within about a minute or so with a ticket number. That means your request is in the queue and the technical team will come back to you. So you just now have to wait. Now, I do completely understand that it's frustrating if you're working on something or you've got something coming up in the next day and it's critical to do that. Unfortunately, the system is the way the system is, and it's fair for everybody. So you go into a queue system, and I guarantee you, providing you get that number back, the team will get to you as soon as possible. If everybody does videos, everybody gets seen quicker. It's that simple. So please do use that channel for technical support. There is no live chat. It's not monitored by the Facebook group or anything like that. So you're only going to get frustrated if you try and go down any of those other channels. Emails for technical support only. Right.
Can I add something here, Kevin?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, this on the same topic. This is a constantly asked question: how to get support. So we have created a document explaining just that. I hope you can see my screen, guys.
Yes,
yeah.
we can see.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so here you can exactly see what Kevin mentioned. The way to contact is support@zenler.com. And you can also submit a ticket here. So if you do not want to send an email out, you can submit a ticket directly, and it goes and creates a support ticket on the help desk. So this is another way to do it. So either support@zenler.com, or you can submit a ticket here, or you can, of course, search our help center or check our basic troubleshooting guide here. So it shows us how to clear the cache and all of that. So pretty much most of the issues are covered here, all the basic issues. If you cannot get anywhere after checking all of this, then you can talk to support. Yeah, that's it. I just want to highlight that.
Perfect. And have we got that link to that page on the tutorial site on the drop-down menu? I think we have that there, don't we?
Yeah, there's a support button. You can click that and it goes through to documents.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I mean, lots of the assets that we have, there's constant reminders of how to get support, click here for technical support, etc., etc. So we try and make it as easy for you as possible. So do use the correct way, but that document's really helpful as well. So thanks for sharing that, Rakesh. We'll put a link to that in the chat for office hours as well. Okay, let's head into our chat and let's see. Tracy's here. So hi, Tracy. Good to see you. Francis is here. Good to see you. We've got one question in at the moment. I think it's a question. Let me read it out from Francis. So great to see you all. Getting an error every time I try to upload an SRT file in Media Library with corresponding video. It's a short video created SRT in Konomia and exported to computer. We'll try exporting from otter.ai to see if there's any difference. Is new Zenler okay with importing SRT files from other applications?
Yes. I've put a video into the chat there. You can see as how we produce the captions for the video. So if SRT is not working for you, you can go with, I think it's TXT, isn't it, Rakesh? I think you can use a TXT format. You can, I know because I've done this on hundreds and hundreds of videos. You can export from Otter AI and you can put them straight into it. So I don't know what's happening with your SRT file. It should be going in. So just try the TXT format and upload it in there if you're having problems.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, as far as it is the standard format, it should work. If its file is corrupted or whatever, it's not. If it's not a non-standard format, obviously it's not going to work.
Yeah, that's another thing with Otter is do make sure that it's finished the transcoding. If you download it before it's finished the transcoding, it corrupts it. And I had that happen myself. I downloaded it before it's finished and then I uploaded it and it didn't work. It was a corrupt file. So I just went in there and said, oh, right, it hasn't finished transcoding the audio. So when it had finished, I downloaded it again, uploaded it. It's absolutely fine in SRT, but you have that option TXT as well. So we've given you the option to choose both of them.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. And that's a good case study for, try those ideas out first, Francis, see if that works for you. If not, send the file, send the video and send it to support and just explain, and they'll take a look at it for you just to make sure everything's good. But that's a good case for how do you get technical support as well. So yeah, no problem. Okay, right, we don't have any more questions. So obviously you're all enjoying yourselves far too much to come on office hours with us today, but those of you that are here, it's brilliant to see you. Thank you for coming along. I tend to round the show off just with a quick round the room to see what's coming up, because we've got some new stuff coming up for the new year. And of course, being here, we haven't stopped for the holiday period. We haven't shut down. Your sites are still working, everything's still operating. So let's go around quickly and just see what people have got coming up. So Rakesh, what have we got coming up? Any new releases or anything like that happening?
I think we hope to start the new year with a big bang, with some huge releases coming up, starting with live pricing, live classes, lesson type onto your courses, and many more. So yeah, stay tuned. We will be announcing a lot of changes shortly.
David, what have you got coming up?
Right, well, we've got the competition draw office hours on the 5th. So then there's going to be a live build. So whoever's selected is going to, I'm going to contact them. We're going to do a live build. It's going to be live. We always live stream it straight into the Facebook group. Our Sunday sessions are starting on the 9th of January. So we start those back up. And, we'll be running a day with Zenler at the end of the month. Kevin, of course, is running 2 challenges, so he's got a lot of work to do. So, it's going to be a big bang to the start 2022 for sure, plus some surprises probably.
Cool. So for me, I've got the Zen Chat is starting again second Monday of the year. So that's proven to be really, really successful. So we're going to carry on with that twice a month at the moment and just look at the timings. And I may throw a third session in at a different time throughout the month. But that's restarting, so look out. They're already in the events page on Facebook. I've got the Launch Your First Course Challenge starting on Monday. So that's this Monday, the 3rd. We've got 250 odd people already into that. There's space for more if you wish to come in. That isn't for the experienced course creator. This is for those of you frustrated, not quite having a structure or knowing how to get your first course launched. And I will do that live with you. So sign up. That again is in the events page with the sign up link there, or check your emails. One went out the other day. There'll be another one over the weekend just to remind you how you can get involved. So that's happening from me. Of course, as David said, we've got office hours next week, which will be at 5 p.m. GMT. So if you can make that, please do. I don't have anything else this week for you to think about, but what I do want to leave you with is just a thought for the end of the year, really. And as I was looking back, because for myself, I tend to use this time to look back at what's happened in the last year and why we're going to be in the next year. We've had a pretty, I would say, uncertain year this year. And I think moving into 2022, we're looking like we're going to have another reasonably uncertain year. However, we are really good as business owners as adapting. And I see lots of people in the Zenler communities that have added a learning management part, so a course or some sort of digital asset onto their face-to-face business. I've seen it with Tracy with the dog training. There's another lady that does piano tuition. And for me, all I want to do is encourage you to explore that a bit more. Explore a little bit more as to how can you adapt your business online? How can you train or teach or support your clients more online using the Zenler platform? Because the capability is there, and maybe you're just not quite sure as to what that pathway will look like for you. One of my things next year is going to help people to unlock that potential, to find where they sit online, because when you have some element of teaching online, that becomes pandemic proof, it becomes recession proof, and it allows you to trade when you're not there. So it's a really good part of your business potentially if you take that opportunity. So for me next year, what I want to leave you with is the thought of how are you going to progress next year online? Where does Zenler fit in for you? And what do you need to make that happen? We'll, of course, be here to support you as and when you need through our challenges, our boot camps, a day with Zenler, through Zen Chat, through the webinars Alice is doing, and everything else we've committed to over the last, well, since Zenler's been in existence, and continue to commit to. Because for us, this is a 365-day business, and that's how we operate. So we're going to be here for you. It's just, how do you want to use what's available? So that's my message for the end of the year. I hope you all have a really awesome new year. And hopefully some of you will be able to remember New Year. For those of you that can't, just make sure you take lots of photographs, or your friends do. Post them up if you wish in the group, just celebrating your end of year. That would be awesome. But enjoy whatever celebrations you're having. We'll see you in the new year. Guys, anything you want to add on to that?
Just Happy New Year to everybody.
Just very happy New Year to everyone.
Yeah, have a great new year, and we will see you in 2022. Thanks, everyone, and see you then.
See you later.